like she had relationships with other people. And I'm not going to be naming other people, except for Desiree, out of respect, because Desiree is someone who I've spoken with and we've talked about this. So I won't be naming other people, but there are other people that have been involved in some of this story. So just out of respect. But
Yeah.
Katie was much closer with other people as far as on a daily basis.
Mhm.
So I know that she said my name a lot in chat, and it was fine with me. It was fine with me because I'm a troll. Like, I don't care that people are like, oh my God, Reggie's so up her ass. Okay, think that. That doesn't hurt my feelings whatsoever. So there's that. Um, Also, that anytime Katie would do something that was either offensive or inappropriate to someone, that I, along with any of our mods or friends, just like automatically co-sign that, or we're cool with it, or that we had to make some big, huge life moral decision about what we were going to do based on something we had no control over, that somehow we were enabling this behavior. That's ridiculous. The people who had the kind of relationship with her that they actually could talk with her in private or had access to talk to her in private, we did that. And I don't know anybody who was too scared to do that. And I just think that that's silly. Of course, I would let her know what I think. At the same time, she's a grown woman, and I never told Katie what to do any more than she could tell me what to do. And I wouldn't laugh in her face the same way she would laugh in mine.
So
So
that's a
that's ridiculous.
misconception that everybody has about all of us. Because
Absolutely.
I disagree with Katie, and I said things, not just whenever she went ballistic on me, but even before that, Reggie, the Kit Kat and Captain, we all had our say at times. You know, Katie may get mad, or she may calm down or whatever, whatever. But we just didn't do that. Wouldn't just always going along with it. We had objections.
Yeah, I mean, that's what friends do.
Yeah.
I don't have to do it in public any
Right.
more than I'm going to yell at my kid in public, but we wait till you get to the car. Like, you
Yeah.
have those conversations in a way that will get across to that person, not put them on the defense to where they're not going to hear you. And maybe that's just my communication style, but I would never even consider having that conversation in public.
No, me either. I mean, we didn't. Yeah.
Hi, Captain.
Captain's here. Captain, I mean,
I'm so sorry that I'm late, you guys.
it's okay.
No, welcome. We just really
Okay.
got started talking about what happened.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Okay,
I put
so
on dinner early and did everything early too, and I still ended up being late. And I'm sorry.
It's
So
okay.
anyhow,
We did
okay.
debunk the rumor about the $20,000 to $23,000. That's just.
Oh, that was going to be my favorite question to
I know.
ask.
That's
And
why
I
this
know.
is the most popular
the
question.
other one's going to be fun too. So go on.
Yes. So anyway, that kind of sets the tone of what our relationship was. And so absolutely we got closer. And I also got closer with that other person who she was very close with.
Right.
And we had much more open conversations, both personal and business, talking about, I definitely noticed a lot of growth on a personal level, and she was growing in a different direction. And I knew that drama really just wasn't in her heart anymore. And certainly the drama community that she absolutely created wasn't something that she wanted to stay in anymore. And so she was always looking for other things to do. And I absolutely supported that. And so getting to know that other person some more and knowing, oh, great, she's got this other really strong influence around her, we kind of, again, not told her what to do, but would be able to give her good advice just from a couple people who have maybe been there and done that sometimes, or maybe a little older or experienced. And then also she taught us things too, because she's got a way about her that maybe in my world is brash or shocking, but I have that bitch inside me too. And I certainly grew up that way. So for me, it's fun, it's entertaining, and in a way that I can't necessarily get away with wearing my pearls at a corporate function. So I got a lot out of it too, right? I really did. I have no regrets about any of that. But so as we got closer, one of the things that I was very clear with her about was that how important trust was for me. And that for me, trust can only be broken once. And I never had ever found a relationship that began on the internet that turned into anything that I could give two shits about if it turned off the next day. And so that was important. Um, that, and then also, I had seen her go live about people or things that she was upset about, and eventually made up with those people or not. And I, you can include you guys too. I have said the words to her. If you ever did something like that to me or talked about our personal business publicly, you would do that one time. Like, I would never, ever be okay with that. I wouldn't fuck around with those games. That would happen. So those were really the only boundaries that I set for myself, and everything was fine. So fast forward, over the last week or so, there were definitely some strains, I would say, on our relationship. I was noticing that she was really, really, really convinced that I was mad that she was going to give it another try with Dylan. And to be honest with you, not only was I not mad, and I kept telling her, no, I'm not mad. I mean, yeah, I think it's a bad decision. I think that you would be better off making an independent life for yourself. I think you should be taking those steps to do that. I mean, that's the woman in me talking. But I mean, it's her life. I'm not going to say, what are you doing? I'm not going to be friends with you if you decide to be with your boyfriend. That's ridiculous. But she kept really harping on that. And I noticed that our conversations would end on a more terse tone. And I would say, hey, whoa, that was defensive. Because she, all of a sudden, even though I was being just as honest as I always was, she really, really wanted me to say, I love him. This is great. I think this is wonderful. And, I finally told her, listen, okay, I know that you really want me to accept that you're over everything that happened, and that's cool, but you're not willing to accept that I'm not over everything that happened, and and that's cool. So I support you. I want you to do great. I want you to, keep doing your thing with your channel, but at least for now, I don't want to be in the chat just acting like everything's cool if you guys are streaming together. I said that. I don't know if anyone remembers that she recently made a comment about that, but she made it sound more like, I don't want to be your friend if you guys are streaming together. That's kind of how I felt like it came.
Yeah.
I kind of chewed her a little bit about that. Like, dude, that's not what I did. And then back to, she felt like I was mad. She felt like I was mad. It almost felt obsessive isn't even the word. It felt like she was kind of spiraling, and not just what we were seeing on screen, but also what I was experiencing offline.
Yeah.
And since I'm allowed to say her name, Desiree reached out. So, Desiree's local, and Desiree was very concerned about some of the things that were going on. And I'm not going to detail what those things are. That's not anyone's business. But she was concerned about some things and was looking for advice, encouragement. We kind of talked back and forth about what to do. We were truly concerned about Katie's state of mind, honestly. And I'm not saying drugs or anything like that. So whoever's recording this, fuck you. That's not what we're talking about here. We were truly concerned that she just wasn't in a good headspace. And I tried to kind of approach some of that with her. And, she was defensive, of course. Maybe I am. Maybe that's what it is. And anyway, so it wasn't really getting anywhere. And I was really just trying to be a friend. And in talking with Desiree more, we started to just kind of, as we were talking about things that were happening, we started realizing that we had gotten some different stories on things. And then there was a whole lot of, no way, she told you what? And some big things. It turned into some bigger things. And then all of a sudden we realized, okay, so some of these lies just seem so ridiculous. And then some of them are pretty serious. this isn't cool. So now I already know in my heart, I have a big problem because trust is huge, right? So I already
Mhm.
know I'm halfway out the door as far as this being a friendship because of trust. And I let Desiree know that. She knows that I'm still there for her. And I know I have to have a very difficult conversation with Katie. Um, while we were having these conversations and I was talking to her about, the first time that I met her and the first time that I went to visit Katie
Yeah.
and just kind of what I knew of her, as I was talking to her, I mentioned one of the things that Katie had said. And it wasn't like here, let me tell you this to hurt you. It was kind of letting her know why I had the impression of her that I did. And I didn't realize that it would be such a monumental frustration, sadness for Desiree to hear this.
Hmm.
And it was not a molestation or abuse story. So that's not what it was. I know that was kind of twisted around. Like
Yeah.
Katie told me someone's abused. That's not, that didn't happen. I don't know where that's coming from. Um, and she got very upset about it. And I said, listen, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry. And as you know, at this point, we've realized she said a lot of things to me that weren't true. She said a lot of things to you that weren't or true. Or maybe one of us got the truth and we just don't know which is which in what situation, right? So at this time, Katie has no idea I'm talking to her. She also doesn't know that I'm talking to another person and Desiree doesn't know I'm talking to another person who's also very close and concerned about Katie, and eyes are also coming up, right? So I'm juggling all of this and thinking, holy shit, I've got to have a conversation with Katie. So I do. And well, first, actually, I started with text because I wasn't sure that I could keep these people's names from slipping out of my mouth or from saying the wrong fact where it would be super obvious that, I don't want her to feel like she's bombarded, right? I wasn't trying to catch her
Right.
in something. I'm trying to highlight, dude, you've got some problems that you need to work on. And so I just, asked her, like, is there anything that you haven't been honest with me about? And of course, no, 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 what? And, that kind of went back and forth. And I felt like she wasn't going to cop to anything more than what she could thought I knew. Of course, she's trying to get information from people that she doesn't know I'm in contact with. And, moral of the story, I said, Katie, I know that you've lied to me, right? And the example that I'll give her, because she's of course insisting on an example, and it's really only fair. I'm not just questioning her on things, but I'm not willing to tell her what she lied about. I said, I'll just use for example, that loan that you took out from me, you got it because you wanted to get your name on this lease. And the problem is you didn't actually do that. You didn't actually get your name on the lease. And I knew that she was doing month to month and that her name wasn't on the lease. And she copped to it right there. I feel like she spun a little bit more dishonesty in there before she kind of came finally to it. And I'll pay you back. I'll pay you back. And I was like, dude, it's not the money. That's not what it is. It's that I can't believe that you would lie to me to take from me. Like, I could have done something different with that money. And what it really boils down to is she took the money. It was a loan. She was going to start paying me back at a fairly aggressive rate. That was her plan. I thought it was more aggressive than it needed to be. I told her as much. Like, literally within just a couple of weeks, all of a sudden she's live and she has no way to make money. She's not able to bartend anywhere, not even as a volunteer, because she this whole liquor license thing, and she's got no gainful employment. So now I realize, wait, okay, so not only has it been over a month and she hasn't said boo about here's $20, but she's not even bringing in money. So this isn't good. But she's saying how much she needs to get this license cleared. Me as a friend was stupid, and I reached out and I said, listen, I heard what you said about this liquor license, and it's going to be almost $3,000 and you owe me $2,000. Listen, I will forgive this debt if you will prioritize getting this shit paid off so that you can be an independent woman, have gainful employment, and make shit happen. And of course she said, oh, no, that's way too much. It's way too much. And I said, listen, I don't do loans with friends. Like, this was something that caught me off guard anyway. I was already kind of feeling strange that she hadn't communicated anything about anything to me. And I thought everything was on the up and up at the time. So I did tell her, don't worry about it. So now if you think about what's happening within this past week, I'm realizing, wait, so she wasn't on the lease. Also had somebody tell me she hasn't done any bartending of any kind since 2017.
Wow.
And I was like, wait, what? Because I saw her as, this hardworking, roughin' woman, there was just, so she was rough around the edges, but she was doing her best. And she had this YouTube thing and tips, and I'm totally fine with that. Like, no judgment whatsoever. But then I started thinking, well, then how were you expecting to pay me back? And she had a story for me. She thought that between her and boyfriend that they would, chip in to pay me. And it was so not okay. It was just not okay. Okay. So it wasn't about money. It was about the dishonesty of it and the lies. And I will say, just for all those curious, since this has gone down just days ago, she has sent me 2 payments. So I do appreciate that. And I do hope that she will pay the rest off. She says that she will. I hope that she will. I really do, because it's the woman thing to do.
Exactly.
That's all there is to it. So I don't want, tip money and gifts and stuff. Man, I don't regret any of that. Like, she was my entertainment. But I tell you what, I wouldn't have sent her badass sneakers because she was on her feet all day bartending if I'd known she wasn't bartending.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff. Like, whatever, and she still was saying that she has done some volunteer. I mean, I don't know. Somebody close to her said, no chance. I don't know. Whatever. I have learned about so many things. I just can't even, it doesn't matter. Like, the trust was already broken. So for me, I wasn't doing any more digging. Like, I already knew what I needed to do. So there was that. And then she went live. It wasn't yesterday. I think it was the day before. And this is when she was being very coy about she didn't need any mods and she was just solo and it was her and Dylan and blah, blah, blah. And I thought, okay, well, this is that go live rule about personal shit, even though you're not saying my name thing. That was the other part of my rule. So that was after I'd already confronted her and let her know that I knew that she was lying and that I wasn't okay with that. And I wasn't going to be okay with that. And that's when she was starting with the Ridgie, are you telling me you don't want to be my friend anymore? And, are you abandoning me stuff? And okay, so leave a lot of just out. Then I'll take it to yesterday morning. So yesterday morning, I was already done and I'm already thinking, man, how am I supposed to untangle myself? I've been such a big supporter, in public. And everyone knows.
I get it.
How do I do this, without making a big thing? Because, I don't want to be friends with her, real interest in hurting her as a person, or, like, none of this was ever supposed to be talked about. I'm just not that woman. And somebody and said, will you please talk to her? She wants to talk to you. And I said, I have what do you want me to do? She's already done off and the back and forth. And I just stayed. I really think she needs help. And I really wish it, and I apparently am not the person who can convince her to do that. And neither are the relies on, right?
Yeah.
So I kept saying, I don't want to do this. And then that person said, can you just do it for me? I need peace. I don't want her calling me with this. And so I said, okay, fine. So my intention with this was to one more time, state how I was feeling, and this other person was there to witness it and to say whatever they need to say. And we did that. And again, I pointed out, I just stuck with the same lie because I wasn't going to ass out these people who would divulge, private details to me. I wasn't going to let her know that they had been talking to me about things and make her feel like it's coming from all ways. She just continued to lie, in my opinion. And so I told her that was it. Oh, I'm hearing sirens, but they're in the distance. So
Yeah, I know the feeling. I mean, I'm hoping that we can get through this without,
okay.
because I know you're under tornadoes over there, and it's coming my way.
Oh, Jesus. Are you guys serious? I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
No, it's okay. I mean, it's okay. I think they're the next town over. If they get louder, I'll have to go. Anyway, so it was basically to let her know that no, this is why. So we were on an agreement that she wasn't going to talk about it publicly. She wasn't going to say my name or that other person's name, and that was it. And it was done. And then a couple hours later, she went live. And not only did she say my name over and over,
Yeah, that's how they
but I
see
wasn't
that one.
budging. She knew that I wasn't budging. So she went ahead and thought, okay, I'll throw Ridgie as the scapegoat. She twisted so much. And then I was absolutely disgusted because all of a sudden she shared this trauma story that not only had she never shared with me, even though I've been so very open about my rape survival story as a child. And I actually, as an adult, put my father in prison, and I do a lot of advocacy as an adult. Not only had she never shared that with me with all the deep conversations we had, I'll just put that out there. Doesn't mean anything except that that's the fact. People in the chat were speculating that Ridgie was the one who threatened her that they were going to out this shameful secret story of hers. I was horrified that she saw it and didn't correct that.
Yeah, no.
And that's when I said, fuck you.
Yeah, you wouldn't do that.
And oh God, no. Not only did I never hear anything of it, but I would never.
That would never cross my mind any more than planning a rape would. You know what I'm saying? That don't cross my mind.
I agree. I would
and even
never,
people in this community that don't really know you that well, Ridgie, know a little bit about your story that you shared on panels, and know you would never ever do that. The only people that were questioning it were new people that really don't even know you. Some people in the chat were like, "Who's Ridgie?" I'm like, "Who are these?"
Well, and what the people in chat were saying didn't hurt me. The barrage of messages that I got on Twitter on how dare you threaten Katie to tell her molestation story didn't hurt me. What hurt me is this woman who I loved as a friend would be that fucking shitty into something that she knows is so close to my heart. That's what hurt me.
Yeah, that's
so. I sent her a text right after, and I said, I am so disgusted by you. I've never been more disgusted by anyone, and I have dealt with some really vile people in my life. And I let her know. I mean, that to me, because she knew she was twisting that shit. She knew that the only reason that she was not going to be sucking up to me there was because she knew I was done. Like, you can't play with me. I'm not a break up, let's get back together, or come cat and mouse chase me. No, I'm an adult. I've got my own life. I've got my own stuff going on. And she knows that she was dishonest. And of course she has streamed about that. And I feel like she's done it in a way of, I'm not perfect and I lie sometimes. And, sometimes I'm just ashamed of things. And that's why I'm not honest. Man, don't feel sorry for her. That is not what's going on. She needs to get herself some help. And I say this as somebody who truly still cares about her and what happens to her. I mean, I'm done being a friend. I'm done watching her streams. It'll just piss me off. I'm not somebody who's going to go hate watch because I don't hate her. I'm not looking to tear her down. I would never have something to say about it. That's not my style. but
No.
she's got fucking problems, man. And
Yeah, she does.
she's talking, man, I see it. Maybe I've got some stuff that I got to work on. It's hard to see. I hear her regurgitating things that I've been saying to her. And I
Yeah.
don't know if she's really getting it or if she's just saying things because she thinks it sounds like it's worth a PayPal or if it's worth a pity. I don't know. I just know that the number of lies that I've learned about and just the dumb shit, I am beyond shocked. Like, that's worn off. The hurt, the anger, all of that, the feeling of loss. Like, I've already worked through that fairly quickly. This was my decision to walk away because of the dishonesty. But like, I've had people say, you enable her. And I always thought, man, that's ridiculous because I always tell her like it is. Now that I realize that she really does have some, man, I'm not saying this as an insult, some mental illness shit going on that she's not willing to get treated, whether it's through therapy or medication. And I've had a lot of therapy. There is no shame in that. And
No,
I
I
take
have
medication,
to.
right?
Me too.
I mean,
I
there's
have
no
to.
shame. Because of that, it makes she doesn't want to work. She doesn't want to better herself. She wants to say these things. She's a fantastic entertainer.
Oh, she is.
Yes.
But if that's what you want to be your only job, just fucking say that. Like, don't lie for it. Just say that. And I think people who haven't been burned or felt scammed or, whatever, I think that they would still see her and love her and she would have a new crowd. But that's got to be
Yeah.
exhausting to lie as much as she lies to people who anyway. But damn.
I know, believe me. I know. Because I can relate, and Kit Kat can, and so can Captain, and many others that have walked away because when you get roasted and cussed and slammed like that, and then not only that's a shock because I'm a grown woman. My daughter wouldn't stand up and do that to me. I'm certainly not going to let somebody on the internet do it. But if for that to happen, and then on top of that, add on lies and blame you for this, blame you for that, while she's cussing you out. She twists it because we all knew it wasn't the truth, Reggie.
Well, don't get me wrong. I think she's a beautiful person and she's got a lot of talent, and I do want her to grow.
Oh,
I just want her to grow as a healthy version of herself.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
Just not my friend. Like, I'm not going to be attached to her because of the things that I've seen. And nobody would know any of this if she hadn't done that shit live.
Yeah, she is her own worst enemy.
And she knew that.
Yeah.
That's why there was another person in the chat who kept saying, please stop this. Please stop this. We said we weren't going to do this.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say any
I saw
names.
that.
I know
don't.
who it is. We won't mention it.
Please don't. I mean, just out of respect.
I know.
She knew what she wasn't supposed. She knew what she was doing. It was a calculated move. And I was so grossed out.
Yeah. I didn't see that string. I did not see it, but I have seen clips. And I know, some of it just was like, what in the hell? That's how I felt,
Yeah.
It was really just, I mean, but the spiraling has been going on for months. And, I hate it. There's nothing I can do. Nothing. And
it's been slow,
she's not going to listen.
but surely, but at a rapid rate as of the last, month. It's been,
Yeah, it's been scary. And that's just the stuff you guys have seen. So, that's all you'll know.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So you probably
and it's like there's 572 people watching. Ooh. And I just want them to know that you and the other women that were on the phone with each other This was in no way like three women trying to destroy another woman. This was coming from a place of absolute genuine love and hope that this person does better and helps themselves. Because I know there's got to be probably some of the new people watching this, because that's a big number, and I just hope people
Yeah.
know that. That's
And
all.
you think about Desiree. Desiree's known her for, 20, 25 years, whatever that is. And I know Katie was really lashing out at me. Like, I ruined that relationship. And obviously, that's not what happened. Like, that's not possible for me to ruin that relationship. But she
No.
didn't know that Desiree and I were talking to begin with, because we both cared so much and we're trying to figure out how to help. And Desiree's loved her, and they've had their falling outs and their get back togethers.
Oh
And,
yeah.
She's gone through Katie's life with her and are right now in this really broken, hurt place. And even today, somebody sent me a screenshot that Katie put something on Twitter. I have her blocked. I mean, she has me blocked, I think probably once she realized that I blocked her. And I did send a text to say, please remove my picture from your Twitter. She put out a tweet that said, and I think it was probably because of this stream that this was going to happen, that said something like, I guess I'm going to have to address Ridgie and Desiree again. And I thought they were done. I guess they lie, and I don't fuck with liars. And
Oh
something
God.
about if
I didn't know that.
Ridgie don't, or this is going to end with Desiree being humiliated. And I just think, God, what an awful intimidation tactic. First of all, Katie, I'm sure you probably hear this. I'm not scared of you, right? So if I wanted to bury you, I could. That's not the kind of person I am. But man, Desiree doesn't deserve that. Come on. Like, that's not what this stream was ever going to be about. And I don't know if that's like her paranoia getting to her, but that's not fair. You don't treat people that are real people that you've loved and they've loved you. You don't treat people like that. That's not okay.
Mm-mm. No. I'm sure she blocked me, or whatever. I don't know. I haven't looked. I,
Ooh, that storm is getting louder.
I can hear that thunder. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Can I answer this real quick?
Yeah.
In case we end up getting disconnected or I get tornadoed away. Tally Girl asked, can you talk about the 24-hour live stream in a very easy, simple, I will say 100%, any fundraiser that I have ever been a part of has been 100% legit. Katie has always given the money to the person, all of the money that came in to the person that she raised it for. She does have a big heart. She can fundraise for other people, but she's got an ego that won't let her fundraise for herself, no matter what anybody thinks. And obviously, she's been getting enough through PayPal or tips that she's been able to somehow continue living all of this time not working like I thought she was. Okay. So I have my own feelings about that. Right.
Yeah.
But no, she was not shaving off the top or doing something nefarious with it. Yes, the 24-hour stream was legit for a real person who truly deserved the support. And I'm grateful that I was a part of that. And I have no regrets for any of the fundraisers that were done.
Yeah, I can't sit up here and say I regret doing anything for Katie, because I did it at the time because it's what I wanted to do. And it's just the way it is, But I mean, once I left, I mean that's over with. I don't, wish anything bad. I think she needs to reevaluate, but nobody can make her do that. Katie has to want to do it.
Yeah.
That's how that is. Well, I don't know. I'm sure Doug supported her, and I'm not sure what Dylan can or can't do. It's not any of my business.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty personal. She has said that maybe one person made more money than the other. Damn, that was scary. That maybe one person made more money than the other. And so maybe things were, more financially secure in one place than another.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter, because really, I look at it like, hey, you're a woman, don't be codependent, period. So
Right.
it doesn't matter who has what. I don't look at it like that either way. I look at take care of yourself. And this has been a total mind fuck for me that, what do you mean you weren't bringing in your own? So I have no opinion on either guy, which one's better or worse. I'm looking at just the person who I considered a friend, and I just now know was a different person in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways, she just couldn't fake that. I loved a lot of things that she could not fake.
Yeah, well, when you're out of it and you do happen to catch it, you see better. I'm just gonna tell you that. Some things, BIPOC, you don't have to leave. Some things that I kind of had blinders on about, I see clearly now. That's
Yeah.
true. I mean, and that's not.
That's if you keep watching. I'm not going to watch.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not either. I'm done at this. This is. I you want closure, but that's not going to happen. And this is my closure. This is it. I won't. I'm just not in it like that anymore. It's too much. It's too much when I can't even wrap my mind around why I've even done it this long, or why I did it for as long as I did. But I'm done.
I mean, you make friends with somebody and you care, and it's easy to kind of get wrapped up, and you want the best for them, and then it just keeps going and going, and you start to make excuses, and it evolves into something else, and then you have to step back.
Well, the thing is, I did care. We did care, but Katie didn't. That's a fact. There's no other way to take it, and it hurts you. I was hurt. Kit Kat was hurt. Captain was hurt.
Sure.
Then we got mad. Then, we decided, well, we're just not going to engage. And we didn't.
And I want to say that there have been so many people, I don't even know, maybe I said this earlier, that have told me so many things, and with trolls, it's like, yeah. But people whom I respect, and I want to say another thing. So not only am I I've got to have my own experience, and I haven't seen anything like that. Not only was that a main factor for me, but also now I know that because she spun so many stories amongst people, I really feel like I had very unnecessarily biased thoughts of people without even really knowing them.
Exactly.
Like not even necessarily shit talking, just so-and-so's got some pretty serious, paranoid schizophrenia issues, and this person is super clingy, and this person's been chasing me and like trying to, they're just dick riding, they're trying to be on my channel. And to me, it didn't matter because they weren't a part of my life. It didn't matter to me at all. It was just her talking about stuff. And so if I heard them eventually come and try to tell me something, it was just like, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. I haven't had that experience. There might even be people in the chat that I've had that very response to. And I've actually communicated with some of those people in the last couple of days. And I'm truly humbled by the experience that just suddenly, all of a sudden changed for me over the last week. Because when I say she had never been that way with me before, my God, do I see it now.
Exactly.
And it's like, how could you be so... I've never dealt with somebody who's this closeted conniving. I've never experienced that before.
It's a shock.
It was like dealing with, how do I give tough love to an addict? And the addiction is to attention, to the money, to the idea of something, but the unwillingness to put the work into herself.
Yeah.
And I want that for her.
And I mean, I'm telling you, you see clearly once you're out of it. I don't know, you get wrapped up in it because I don't know. For me, I think the biggest thing for me with Katie was how much she loves her dad, because I lost my dad when I was 22.
Sure.
And you know, I saw that love, and that's genuine. You know, that's not, I mean, you know, it is, it's there. And it touched my heart in a way, in that way.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not all bad in Katie. There's not.
No.
There's not all bad in everybody. Of course, there are some that I think are, you know, pretty evil. But, you know, that's what really, I think, kept me there mostly because
Right.
and, you know, the fact that, you know, I missed, I mean, I didn't have my dad but for 22 years. That's why I hang on to my mom.
Yeah.
Don't cry. That's
Take
why
a
I hang
breath.
on to my
Yeah.
mom. Look, my mom is 92 years old, and I know she's had a good life, a fulfilling life, children, grandchildren, and she's a great grandmother and a great great grandmother, 5 generations. But she is my mother. She is my mom. And when I hug her and she hugs me back, I'm that little girl. I'm her daughter. I can't help it. You know, that's all I have. And that's all I've had for 36 years. So, you know, I couldn't, at the end of all of this, I couldn't be there for Katie like I was. My mother had a mini stroke. I couldn't tell Katie that, Reggie. You know who knew? Kit Kat.
Yeah.
Kit Kat walked me through so much.
I gotta tell you, a lot of people have said, how many times did she ask you about things in your life?
Never.
And I always thought, you know, I'm actually a very low maintenance person in that way. Like, I don't give two shits about either one of my parents. And like, I go, if I'm doing internet stuff, it's because it's a distraction from the crazy, you know, busy stuff that I'm doing in my life. So I don't need that. And I never thought anything of it. But then I found out that there were people that really were going through things that deserved to be checked on, and they weren't. And that kind of stumped
The
me.
thing is, you know what her saying was? She didn't want to hear it. She didn't want broken people around her. And I told Katie that in a text message.
I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
Yes. So that is the truth. She said, I don't want to hear it. And I heard that over and over and over. So I left that mod chat. I did, because I couldn't take it. I couldn't keep up. And plus, I knew Katie wanted us gone. I knew it. I wasn't stupid. I felt it. And she took that opportunity, you know, with the purple lady. So it ended up working out because the stress of it all and the things that I needed to do for my mother, I've been able to do it without any stress. I've had Kit Kat, I've had Captain, I've had Sierra, and I've had several people, Bodie, Cash, a lot of these people that have helped me through a lot. They have no idea how much they've helped me.
That's wonderful.
So I'm
glad that you had that.
Yes, I'm better. I'm better. Well, at the same time, I was feeling pushed aside by so many in the circle. And I told you that, Reggie. You know, because people that I thought were really would never leave me like that did. And we all know how that works in the circle, Reggie, with Katie. You don't associate with somebody she doesn't.
I mean, my honest feeling was, okay, so it's not the regular daily interaction anymore. But I honestly, I mean, aside from, I'm not going to rehash it, Kit Kat's, I saw that she was in the chat earlier. Kat, I still adore you and I still care about you. There was that one time that she put a video out and I felt like the timing of it was terrible. I mean, I felt like she should be able to say whatever she wants. I felt like the timing of it felt like jumping on a bandwagon. And I was honest about that. And I feel like it was taken as an attack and I didn't mean it that way. And I felt like, damn, I'm the same person I've always been. I've always called things out when I see them.
But I checked you on it, Reggie. I said, this isn't about Katie. It's about Link.
Right,
I
right.
did. I checked you on it. And I mean, I wasn't being pushy. I just had to tell you, look, this is about her
I
grandson.
saw that. I saw that. I understood that. I didn't agree with the timing, and that was my own personal opinion that I had expressed.
Yeah,
And at the same time, I also very much respected that she should be able to have her own feeling because this was something that personally affected her. I saw
exactly.
both of that. I really
Exactly.
did. But I think even Captain would, I hope, would say that I've always been so straight up. If I have a personal opinion on something, then I'll just come out and tell you about it. And it doesn't mean, oh, I don't like you, or oh, this is an argument.
Oh,
It's
I
just,
know.
hey, this is how I saw this.
I get it. I
No,
get it. But then I
no,
had to
totally.
tell you how
Right.
I
Right.
felt. So I did.
It,
And
and then
and,
I felt like, oh, did I make them upset? And I felt like y'all kind of pulled back. And so I want y'all to know that my feelings have never changed at all for you
yeah,
guys.
because it wasn't about Katie. I couldn't give two shits at that particular moment if
Right.
Katie was hurt or not. It was about Link. And that was my priority. That was Kit Kat's priority.
Right.
It was not about Katie. Katie's 32 years old. Link needs a voice.
Right.
And that's exactly what we were about, Reggie.
I
That's exactly
understand that.
what we were about.
And I respected that. I respected what you said. But just want you to know that I was trying to be respectful of, okay, well, maybe just by me having affiliation with Katie, maybe they don't want me to engage. And so, I have been following and checking on your mom and stuff. Like
I know.
I still care very much. And same thing with Kit Kat, but just trying to be respectful about it
Yeah.
is all. There's no hiding it. The same thing with
Yeah.
Captain and leaving comments when I can catch a stream. Like I've never been like, oh, I can't be caught somewhere. I've always thought that was stupid, and I've never followed anybody's rules. And I don't think she ever really meant that, honestly. I think that was that was an old version of herself, and she's a different person, and I didn't never follow that anyway. So go ahead.
Yeah. I know. But I never had any reason to want to go into anybody else's chats that, I just never did. I mean,
Yeah.
and I still don't.
And I think that really when you're expressing like how you feel, kind of like some of us and the others in the circle too, is like it might be taken out of context, and it might have at the time been like because like they were still feeling the pain of like
yeah, we were.
what happened,
Sure.
and that maybe they felt like you were defending her and not
Sure.
considering the whole situation. And I'll say this, like Reggie's come to me in DMs when she's disagreed with me on something, and I'm like, oh damn. Like she gets to the point really fast.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she doesn't like fuck around and candy coat it. So I think that maybe that was all like kind of,
Well, that's why I responded back. Normally I don't do that.
Right.
But I did.
Well, I'm
And
glad we've been able to talk about it.
yeah, I mean, I
I'm
did
glad to.
because my thing was, it's about Link, and she let what the whole situation with that was she let her hatred for somebody let her mouth run and target a group of children.
Oh, absolutely. That whole
What's wrong with
situation,
you? I don't
you
care.
best believe we
So-
talked in
so
private. Yes, of
At
course.
that point, I didn't give a damn about her feelings at all.
And I'm really comfortable with the fact that Ridgemont probably ripped her one for that, because
Yeah.
I don't see
that.
her co-signing that,
Said that because Kit Kat wasn't jumping on no bandwagon. Kit Kat
No.
is her own
she wasn't.
person. We all know that.
Sure,
For
of
sure.
course.
Yeah. Kit Kat
But
doesn't
the
follow.
timing at the time, that's how it hit me.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh man, why are you doing that? And also, I mean, she has said plenty of times that she missed you guys. And so I just thought, gosh, it just seemed like an opportune time. I said it out loud. I heard what you said. I understood that too. And I just wanted to be respectful. And that's all it was. And so, like I said, I'm glad we've talked about it because
Yeah.
water under the bridge for me. And I hope that you guys understood where I was coming from and understand where I'm coming from now. I won't apologize because I said what I was feeling at the time, but it truly, maybe my intention of it just didn't come across the right way. And for that, I'm sorry.
I can tell you that it didn't. I mean,
right.
It didn't. And when I finally, had, that's why I said it in a more forceful way on Twitter than what I would have normally said, because
Gotcha.
feelings
Okay.
were very, very raw. But it was the fact of that how many times has it been asked of her not to do that, but to do that not towards an adult, but
right.
towards,
I understand.
I
totally understand. I mean, you guys have, like, I've even, when she's used it towards an adult, I'm sure you guys have seen me type, she means reward, or she talks with a list, because I also don't use that word, but
no, either.
For an adult, again, she's a grown woman. I also would never vote for Trump. So suck it, chat, whatever. Like, there are things that we have very big differences all along the way, but it wasn't something that I thought that she should necessarily be flamed for. On the way that she used it in that particular instance, of course, it was absolutely wrong. She knew that it was wrong. I told her right away.
Her apology sucked, Reggie.
I'm sorry?
Wasn't sincere. Her apology video sucked. It wasn't a bit sincere. She was
not at all
smart ass. I watched it.
I can't conjure it in my mind very clearly at this moment, so I can't even speak on it.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I know she knew it was bad.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to call. Let me see. Well, since Jennifer Custer just said that she knew that I was supportive about it all, I specifically was using Jennifer Custer as an example. I was like, man, you cannot fucking say things like this. And I was explaining to her, and okay, this is not a good excuse. It really is still used in that state. It really is. That word is still used in that state. Not just as a rude term, but also in a medical way.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that there are a lot
It's not okay.
It's just not with me.
I get it.
I think,
but in Texas, we've been told for at least a decade, oh, no, you don't say that. I don't know why.
Either.
I know better, and I know how rude it comes across. I get it.
I just don't think that Katie really probably knew that the state still used that word. I think she just used it no matter what,
Somebody did research on that.
Well, okay. I guess what I'm saying is her environment, and her experience had not taught her that that's really fucked up, in the same way that I know that's really fucked up. That's really anyone who's done special ed work or worked with Special Olympic, it didn't hit her in the same way. In the same way that she can't understand what it's like to be a mom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's an excuse. Again, I'm not friends with her, and I completely disagree with that.
Yeah.
But I'm also very logical in that regard, and that I remember my conversation with her very well. I don't remember her apology very well.
Oh, she even laughed kind of
in the apology. It was a joke.
Not even, it wasn't even worthy of even airtime. I mean, it really wasn't. But the fact that her hatred for somebody, it's just too much. You just, what I'm saying? It was
a mean, absolutely uncalled for low blow.
Yeah.
And that person, who I won't say that name, that she was saying that to, has also been a disgusting, foul-mouthed person as well. Disgusting.
Well,
so, I mean, I'm not going to talk about her, but they've both. And just because one was more social, know how you want to rank them. But yeah, we all do bad stuff. I agree. And that was a very triggering thing to say.
And do you think maybe, like Reggie, that because I know the person you're talking about and she's personally gone at you a lot, and that maybe like you were like maybe caught up in that fight so much that like it just, I don't know.
No, honestly,
I don't believe that you were defending her saying that, but it just, I don't know. I don't know what to say.
You get caught up. I'm telling you.
No, I did not have I really don't want to talk about those people. But when I said in the beginning that the same people that I didn't care for before, same people I cared for before, same.
Right.
I made none of my decisions based on Katie. Okay, but it's not a secret that for the most part I stayed in Katie's because hers was the chat I enjoyed. Like that's I didn't enjoy the other places of the community. I've never sat through a full stream of most of the others. Like I've caught a few of Randy's and and I think that's it. I think that's it. If I'm forgetting, and of course y'all's, if I've been there when y'all were live long ago, or captains.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you didn't have the live streaming back then, but no, I have seen things, and you know what? Some of the stuff could be totally manufactured by Katie at this point. There have been so many lies, and that's totally possible. But from my own personal experiences, the way that I have seen those two be with me, no, it's never going to be a, hey, let's talk about it. I just don't care. I don't care. Don't talk about me. I don't care about you. Whatever. Move on.
Yeah, it's it gets to that point. I mean, you literally get drained. But I've had other issues going on too, and
Sure.
I know some people handle things better, but I've had things, happening in my real life. So yeah, it's been a complete woof in my brain.
Man, we all do.
Yeah.
We all do. I've got
And I
my
know
baby's
I
moving
know
up.
you were the boy.
Lost 2 pets
Yeah.
last year. I mean, we all have our stuff.
Did you guys clear up the question about your husband?
Which
What?
one? About how hot he is? No, I'm kidding.
No. No, about how he knew that you were he got really mad about the financial transactions with Katie, and that he took the smackdown on you, girl, because you don't have lady balls and you don't have your own money.
Listen, here's the deal.
I'm sorry, I wanted to lighten the mood for a minute. I just did. I had to, because in case the storm washes you away, I want you to answer that. So
now it seems to be calming, at least in my very local vicinity. First of all, I worked my ass off. I was successful in my own right. I left a 6-figure career by choice because I was making decisions to spend more time not traveling and doing volunteering and doing some things that I define success differently. So I wanted to spend my time in a different way. Plus, my lupus was becoming more of an issue, and I never wanted to see anyone. I never wanted anyone to see me feel weak. And luckily, I was able to make that exit before that ever happened. So I have money, and he still makes just fine money, and our money is rolled together. And it's not a big. You better believe we both know about all of our money. So have no fear. Both times that I have gone to visit Katie, he's given me the cash budget so that I could do whatever the hell I wanted, and I didn't have to worry about my transactions showing up. I mean, if I wanted to go buy a hooker and snort coke off his ass, I could do that. Like that's I don't have I'm in a solid long-term 20+ year relationship here, and nobody controls me, and nobody controls my friendships, my phone calls. Honestly, what really sucked about all of this with Mr. Ridgie was when I had to look at him and say, dude, she's a fucking liar. And he said, damn. I mean, because he knew that I was having fun with it. And he knows that once he knows me, once trust isn't there, it's gone. And then he was like, well, what are you going to do? And I said, what do you think I'm going to do? And so that was it. And I wasn't watching anything. And then the next thing I know, that stream with the abuse story. And I had to say, dude, people were saying Ridgie was threatening to out your abuse story. And he goes, no. Because again, he knows he went through all of this with me. He was at court with me.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I mean, when I say that friendship is dead to me, it's dead to me. There's no tears, there's no real tears or fake tears. It's just over. You
Yeah.
don't I have boundaries. I'm not a narcissist. I'm not paranoid. I'm not any of those things. Like, I'm just very matter of fact that, yeah, I loved you and I still love you because I can't just turn that off, but I don't fuck with you.
Yeah.
And don't you ever say my name or think that you're going to intimidate me or hint at something, because I haven't addressed anything that you haven't already brought up yourself. Let's not go tit for tat, because that's just stupid.
That's right.
And you don't want Mr. Ridgey involved. Just don't.
um,
So no,
I
there's
just
no
couldn't get
worry that
over
Mr. Ridgey was like, "Oh my God, you what?" No, not
SmackDown
at
on
all.
the week, Ridgy. Yeah.
No.
I just because I did watch that Doxers live stream last night, and you know, 15 minutes prior to doxing Dylan, she's like, "Don't worry, y'all. I don't, go for families like Katie, and I don't go at people that don't deserve it. I don't go at innocent people like they went at Joe, my husband." 15 minutes later, 3 shots later, here's his place of business. Here's his full name. Here's his address. Drunk hillbilly
Ugh,
style. Like, it was fucking legit across the board. Like, what?
cringe.
And I'll give this to Shannon. She tried to stop it.
yeah.
It was unsuccessful. She tried. She did try. And other people were laughing that were on panel, including Purple Hair.
Ugh,
Um,
what a
but the
joke.
people in the chat were just having so much fun. Like, I watched Katie's stream. I've watched it all unfold. And where they were coming up with the financial figures and the Mr. Ridgemont did this, and I was like, oh my God, like, this community, too much. Y'all, come on. And of course, the drunk hillbillies on panel repeating it like it's fucking true.
Yeah,
And then
one of
and
the
then there was a
clips that I
fake Doug in
saw.
chat too. Fake Doug said that Katie made like $120,000 in 2018.
Yeah.
Fake Doug did. She was
Right.
talking to fake Doug like
Mhm.
he was real Doug.
Right. Yep. I'm sure.
I was like, where in the hell are they coming up? But this is coming out of their ass, man. I mean, where did they come
It was so bad.
Well,
It was
and
so
there was
bad.
a clip where I guess Savage was saying that she got a DM from someone that this all happened because Katie, let me get this right. Katie told me Desiree's molestation story, and Desiree was upset about it. And so that's why it broke up their relationship. And I ditched Katie, and then Katie had to tell her story. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah,
But
that was
she
No,
used Desiree's story as her own.
that
Like,
is not
that was
true.
another
You
lie. Like,
morons.
what?
No. And if you believe every troll that comes in and just drops something like it's hot, 23,000, no, 26,000, then you're an idiot and you deserve to be mocked. I'm sorry.
that was
Come
like,
on.
yeah,
No, that's not true. That's
yeah,
not true. Desiree deserves better. And quite frankly, Katie deserves better than that. And not because she's the epitome of grace, but because she's a fucking human being. Come on.
yeah. The docs and shit.
No one deserves to be doxxed,
No,
period.
I don't care who you are
And
anymore.
I like, just like, you know what, Savage's husband Joe, he did not deserve to be doxxed or
Yeah.
called or anything, whatever happened. And I'm not saying Katie did it, because I know that she had a lot of problems with the angry grandpa community that went after her, and she's kind of taking what happened to her over there and combining it with what people have done in this community. And everybody needs to keep in mind that there are a lot of faceless, and this includes Katie too. I'm not just talking to Savage here. Everybody, not just them.
You're right.
That
Right.
we need to keep in mind that there are faceless trolls that don't even speak in chats, that are just a number watching, that do this shit. I know that there's people out there that do that. I just know it in my heart, because,
Of course.
you know,
Don't
the
ever
people
know.
that have done the doxing, we know this or that, but who's made the phone calls, we don't really know, you know? So with the retaliation needs to be like stopped, because we don't really know.
Yeah,
It's scary and fucked up.
And everybody at this point knows that there's some, and I'm not using, I mean, mentally unstable people, right? So there's different varying levels. I have depression, anxiety. I take medication for it, and I am not ashamed of that. Again, but there are mentally unstable people that get like crazy obsessed. I mean, more than
Yes.
just stalker obsessed. And so, like, the experience that Katie was very public about with like these messages with Dylan, right? I don't know if it was one person or if it was five people, but with all the different messages and then messaging me and then messaging Desiree and then, you know, it very likely was somebody who was also in the chats. And so this was on Facebook and this was on Twitter and Insta. And
Right.
you got to think about, man, you have no idea what kind of psycho you're giving that
Yeah.
information to. And it's not, I know when you think you're mad and you don't really care what happens to someone, dude, those people are legit, like, need to be locked up, and there's obviously nobody monitoring them.
Yeah. It's weird. I mean, it's scary weird at times that you just don't know things, and people need to back off of this crap. I mean, listen,
Yeah.
if you want to come on here and banter and laugh or whatever the hell you're here for, do that. Just stop going in to real life. Stop it.
And I'm sorry, but when you get doxing back's not the answer. That's not. You just don't do that.
Two
Like,
wrongs don't make a right.
It never ends.
It just
It
doesn't.
never ends.
It just doesn't make a right. It doesn't. I don't get it. You know, I'll never get that. I don't.
Like with my kids' video thing, like people were giving me like different clips of those people's like kids and live streams and like, oh, you could do this and do that maybe. Like people I didn't really even know that well. Like most of them weren't even friends with me on Twitter, and I was just like, are you out of your goddamn mind? Like I'm gonna put those babies on a fucking video. Come on, dude.
Yeah.
You know what?
Well,
And I've
recently
announced that I'm making what?
Oh, go ahead.
No, when I've announced that I was gonna make a video about like Savage or Meatball or whatever, right? I got my DMs were flooded with like the video clip of Meatball's daughter and screenshots and the phone call that Isaac Guest had with Savage's son. I'm like, are you out of your mind? You think, like, come on, dude. That's what makes this community ugly and unfun and not a good thing. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I straight up let Randy know because we had a little tiff on Twitter recently, and you know, we worked it out, or at least got it on the same page of understanding in DM. And somebody reached out and was like offering to scare her in real life, and I didn't even know this name. And not only did I tell this person, absolutely not, what the fuck are you doing? But I made a public post about, don't come at me with that. No, I'm not that kind of person. But I let Randy know, and I said, listen, if anything happens, like, you let me know, and I will absolutely provide all the information I've got. Yes, I know somebody who can, you know, trace the information. Like, I've got resources. Okay, that's just all there is to it. I've got resources. I was fairly confident that everything was going to be fine, and this person was just thinking that, I don't know if they thought that was going to impress me or sound cool, but that's creepy as fuck. No.
Yeah. And I think it is like trying to sound cool, because when they're presenting this nasty shit, they're thinking like maybe like, because there is some mentally ill people here. Like,
yes,
there's some people that can't leave their house and all they have is social media. So they want to be making friends, and they definitely don't go about it the right way by doing shit like that. I'm just going to keep it nice and say it that way.
Like, don't you
it's very
know me
insulting.
At all? Like,
what made you think? Extremely insulting.
Yeah. I don't condone that ever.
With Savage, I really, she knew it was wrong. She even stated it. But then, sort of like what Katie does, it was like, take it or leave it. I don't give a damn. I'm doing it. Even though, like, there were people in that chat saying,
don't take accountability, but they're not.
Yeah. So, what's done is done. It can't be undone.
No.
But it's not right. Well, it's not right for anybody to do it, whether it's Katie, me, Captain,
No one.
out there. It's not right anymore. It's just not.
Yeah.
Nobody is excusing Katie's bullshit, Rainey. Nobody. You don't not
Nope.
hear that.
Never excuse doxing on her behalf or
There's a way.
telling people to call government agencies. None of that.
No,
No,
there's a
people
way
like
to talk about it, and that's what we're doing. We're not sitting here screaming and shouting and cussing and hollering and all of that. That's it.
now people getting offended by things that because they think they know a story, I will totally laugh at you for that because that's not my character and that is your character, and you can be mad at me that I don't get upset for that. But that's the internet, guys. This is the way diverse opinions come together. That's what it is. So you can either be mad all the time or you can just not go watch that person.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm done. This is, Reggie, you were very, very close with Katie, and I was close with her, but not to the level that you are. And
Me neither.
this to me is just it. It's the end of the road. I don't want to be on that train.
Right.
And I'm not going to be. I'm just not. I want to say I wish her well. I hope she gets what she needs. You know what I mean?
I hope she struggles just a little bit and gives herself time to maybe go make some of those changes for herself. Honestly, and then I hope she just flourishes and flies like no one's business. Again, I just won't be there for it.
Okay, exactly.
Because if she's just getting, either sympathy money now or,
it just
oh man, I can't believe how Reggie really screwed you over. I mean, come on, guys. Like, I'm telling you, as somebody who supported her with my heart and, with my hundreds of thousands of dollars, whatever, I'm telling you, like, I don't have sour grapes. Like, I want this person to be okay. She needs to be okay. But like I heard her say, this is my rock bottom. Man,
she hasn't
as of yesterday morning, this is not her fucking rock bottom. I'm telling you.
No, she hasn't.
Because she wasn't going to say anyone's name. And then she decided that's what she was going to do.
Yeah.
And then I hated the timing of all of a sudden she was going to tell this story. And I thought, man, oh God, I hope this isn't just timing.
Yeah.
I hated that I felt that.
Hit rock bottom because she's had people there to pull her out. And I mean, look, I'm speaking, because I've had relatives that, were addicted, had addictions, and I had to cut them off. And, they had to hit their rock bottom, and then they've been sober since. So, I'm just saying, I'm not talking about that she's doing drugs. I'm just putting in perspective that sometimes you have to just let people fall. They have to do it.
Yeah. Well, and I know tough love isn't even the word because that means you plan on being there when they clean themselves up. That's just not my case. So like people saying, I hope y'all can work it out. Like that's not where we're at. I'm telling you that door is closed. And unfortunately, that's just what I have to do because that's my own personal boundary. I've been through a lot of shit in my life. I've closed the door on a lot of people I'm blood related to because of, the trauma and the dramatic story that I've got with the abuse that unfortunately happened within my own family.
Yeah.
It's nothing for me to say, you broke my trust. That's it. And I will hurt and I will suffer in silence and it will be click. It's over. And I'm telling you, it's over.
Yeah. The one thing,
and it sucks.
I can, say is that, I'm better. I feel better. My stress level is better. And, I'm glad to be where I am right now. I feel like I'm a better person. I'm a better me. And I can actually have fun again. And it means a lot.
Good for you.
And I've got
Oh,
some terrific friends.
yeah.
You know, I really do. I mean, I've never had this. I mean, I've modded a chat with 500 people in it. I've never had 500 people on my stream, but there's so many in here I'm seeing that I haven't seen in a long time, and it's good to see them in here. You know,
That's good.
Yeah, it
Glad to
is.
see that. Speaking of that, are there any questions that I can answer? I can't stay on too much
yeah.
longer.
Let me think. Does anybody in the chat want to ask her anything?
You we were talking earlier, and we were talking about like well, maybe you could present her with questions. I was like, I got two, and it was the money one and the husband one, and
I
then the
know.
rest of them I just couldn't think of anything. I was like, that's the only that's just
I
for
don't
the
really
people in
care
the
about
chat.
anything.
I know the truth about that, but it was just funny.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Thank you, Shell. What happened to the 2000? I didn't read it.
Yeah, 125 of that has been paid back, and she says that she plans to continue paying as she can. So um, maybe I don't hope that she struggles for a little bit. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, I want her to get better first. I mean, I really do feel that way. So, I mean, if people are just giving her money because, they're feeling sorry for it, that's the wrong thing. That's going to enable her to keep delaying her to get help for herself. And she really, truly does need that. I say that as a woman who knows a whole lot more than I can ever share.
I can honestly say, Ash's question is there any hope of your relationships being repaired with her? No. For me, it's
No.
no.
Yeah.
I'm done.
I wasn't that close to her, and it only takes once for me as well. Like, I'm not a very needy friend, and I'm a very good and loyal friend, and it to be like the whole public display thing, I can't get down with, and I wish her well.
Was the Dylan drama fake or
Oh,
real and all that, or was it a play to manipulate for money?
I'm going to come back to that 2K in just a minute. So the Dylan drama, as far as I know, I mean, that's all real. Unfortunately, along with the stuff that I maybe saw that I was concerned about, she's up and down. And I don't want to speak too much on their personal business. From what you guys have seen online, I can tell you, at least from while I was there, every bit of that was real.
Okay.
And there was more when they weren't online.
I don't really care, but I mean, does that answer y'all's question in the chat?
And I guess what they were asking about with that 2000, I just got a text, is what did she do with that 2000 since she told me that it was to get on this lease and blah, blah. To be totally honest, I don't know. So what I suspect is that maybe she wanted to, I don't know, maybe she wanted to pay the rent the first month and like impress him. Maybe she blew some at the bar. I don't know.
Yeah.
My issue was that it wasn't used for the reason that it was taken as a loan. It wasn't taken as funny money or anything like that. Or if she had asked me for it that way, I wouldn't have given it to her. And she knew that. And so that's why she didn't ask for it that way, is how I feel about it. So I couldn't tell you, but it wasn't used to re-sign the lease that was supposedly up to sign a lease. And they didn't do a lease that way. They're month to month.
What do you three think of will be her rock bottom? I really can't say. Everybody has their different threshold. I don't know what her rock bottom will be. She may not ever reach it. She may pull out. I don't know. Hey, Stephanie. I don't know. Y'all have an opinion?
I mean, how do you define somebody's rock bottom?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Because of my just recent feeling of this obsession with money and spending, maybe recklessly.
Yeah.
I think that it would probably be tied to that. I wish I could say it would be like good friends, losing good friends, but I don't think that that's it.
I don't either. I really don't when it comes
And
to the friend thing.
but again, that's just my opinion. I don't know.
I don't think
And
she
I
has
want
that type of value. I don't think Katie knows how to do that. That's just my opinion. I'm just, you know,
I want to say,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. I feel like such an idiot when I do that.
No, go ahead.
I'm a big mouth. I'm sorry. Okay. I want to say, like, everybody's rock bottom is like so different. And I'm speaking from being in recovery for 3 years, and I'm disclaimer right here, not saying Katie's like
No,
inactive addiction.
I wasn't.
Not at all. It's just a rock bottom is just like when life is going bad and stuff like that. That's what I mean by it.
Right.
And everybody's is different because mine was like I must have hit 75 rock bottoms before I got to the real one.
Yeah.
Like I kept thinking I was there and I wasn't. Life was just getting more horrible. And then it finally was just like, wow. You get an awakening and you make things better. You know, like it just happens one day and you can't label someone's rock bottom. They can only do it themselves.
Man, I wish, God, I can't even tell you what a failure I felt like. And that's so silly because I know I can't own it. But I felt like a failure because I don't believe that she's an actual like sociopath. Don't get me wrong. I do believe that she had true love for me, and of course has true love for people that are in her life and have been in her life for a longer period of time. I just think that she's so overcome with, and God, I hate this word because people use it so much and they use it wrong. But I was doing a lot of research thanks to some really beautiful people that sent me links. And I was thinking originally that maybe there was some narcissism traits for Dylan. And once all this stuff started crashing down on me and I started realizing the truth, and some of the lies that were going on, and just, man, I think it's Katie, man. I really do. And I know she kind of says that, like, I'm not a narcissist, or maybe I'm a narcissist. And I know I'm not the only person that has said that to her. But I really feel like maybe she's not even aware of how cruel she is to people that I do believe she has love in there for. Like, she is so impulsive and so about her and about the gratification of having the money, spending the money, buying somebody something, even though she knows damn well she's going to need that money. And just, fuck a budget, fuck a real job, like, I feel like rock bottom for her, I don't even know what that looks like, because I feel like she'll always find a way to get that next 20.
Yeah.
She's
a hustler for sure. She's
I respect a hustle, man. I really
it's
do.
more than a hustle. I just don't want to call her, I mean, I don't want to
I don't respect a liar. I'll tell you that.
I don't know. The manipulation is out of hand, I'm pretty, Shell said, asked Reggie how she felt about Katie getting spray tans, doing her nails, and going out to bars when she owed you money.
Well, that's an interesting question. So, okay. All right. Some of those things I know she doesn't pay for. Okay. And I don't pay for them. So there's that. I never expected her to pay me $500 a week, like she first said she was going to do. I was like, bitch, come on. It's October. There's Christmas coming up. Just chill out. If you can do it before my birthday, which was a few more months out, we'll be fine. But when she never said, here's a 20 spot, and she never brought it up, and I was like, hey, so yeah. And then all of a sudden there was this announcement that she couldn't make money. And then, of course, now I know she wasn't even making money then either. So obviously I had a problem with it. Yeah. For me, it was just she was so, I'm definitely going to pay you back at this like enormous rate that I thought was silly, to absolutely nothing about it. That's what bothered me. Not the things that she was doing, man, I had those kinds of parents when I was younger that would hang shit over your head. I'm not that person. I
Um,
grew up with nothing, and I wouldn't be like, "Oh, I see you just bought yourself a drive-through menu, order, and you could have gotten something off the value menu and given me a couple bucks." Like, I'm not that person. So I didn't feel any sort of way that she was still living her life and I wasn't counting dollars, if that's what the question is. I
yeah.
felt a certain way that she wasn't addressing anything about it.
Let's clear up the thing about a hustle, being a hustler, or we're talking about, doing an honest, getting out there and making your money honestly. That's what we're talking about, not dishonestly or
Well,
deceitful.
okay. Well, even at that. All right. So when I was 18 years old, I was a cocktail waitress in a very nice gentleman's club for 4 months of my life. Made some killer money. Every fucking day to every customer, my rent was due tomorrow. Okay. That was my hustle. And they would be, "Oh my gosh, how short are you?" I'm like, "Man, I got to get another $100. If I get another $100, I can get off my feet." That was a straight up lie. Okay. I was not being honest, but I made killer money. So
Hmm.
I won't even say that, oh, it has to be 100% honest. Okay. Because that was the hustler in me. That was the survivor in me.
You gotta
I
do
don't
it.
even have an issue with that. What I have an issue with is, um, if you're going to, if she were to say, "Guys, I want to make this my full time career. Like, I really want to make a go at this," and then be her charismatic, entertaining self and get tips for it, to me, that's a hustle. That's a gig, but it's not manipulation that is making people think they're, paying for a dying dog.
Mm, yeah.
Right.
To me, that's the difference. And certainly with a friend, like, that's even
That,
more so personal, where it's like, oh my God.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
just,
like subscribers compared to a customer in a gentleman's club, or
yeah.
friends compared to
Yeah.
like you expect to be lied to when you go to a gentleman's club, only if you have a brain.
Right.
Like,
Right.
you know what I mean?
If you came out of the movie and said, "Wait a minute, that wasn't real," well, that's on you that you bought that ticket, right?
Right.
Like, you went to the
Exactly.
show. Were you entertained? Okay. But yeah,
Right.
that's kind of how I feel about it. If it's a sob story that's not really true, yeah, I agree. That would be absolutely fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is over here. There's a difference. Let's see. I missed that comment. I'm trying to scroll. Let's see. See, Vegas.
I'm not even looking at the chat.
There's a difference between a hustler and a con artist.
True. Yeah.
Exactly. We're very aware of that, and that's one thing I didn't want to say. But
No, I agree.
you know,
I feel conned. I do.
oh, I know I was. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think at this point everybody does. Was there really a diner job? Do you know? Richie wasn't really
Yeah.
bad.
So shit. I mean, so many lies. I believe that there was. I know that it was very short lived because she, I mean, she was working her ass off and there were these small, tiny checks. So she was getting, a couple bucks a table. And that wasn't enough for the work she was putting in. That's the story that I got. So I don't have any reason to believe that wasn't true. So
Yeah,
that's why it didn't last long. And I don't have any reason to believe that she should have continued doing that and not making money if she could make $50 streaming on YouTube.
yeah,
I mean, I'm a businesswoman at heart. So I would have said, go stream
yeah.
instead of spend 4 hours and walk home with $10. Like, that's just stupid.
Well, the lies is what just
Right. The
is
the
so
lies,
overwhelming.
right, are you've had this tax bill out there since
Right.
forever ago and you haven't put a damn thing on it, and I didn't know that.
Desiree's in here. Thank you,
Oh, hi Desiree.
Desiree. Would you like a link? I don't think she's ever paneled up. I don't know. I know she's been at Katie's at times. I don't want to put you on the spot. Yeah, you do feel like a fool when you get out of it and you look, you see it. What you didn't see while you were in it. I mean, it's the truth.
Well,
For
I
me,
thought I saw a lot while I was in it. I just didn't realize.
how deep?
Well, even the things that I thought I saw, I'm only now seeing those were lies that even y'all don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I won't even share. Like that's
Oh, we
it's
weren't
layers upon
stupid.
layers.
We knew that while we were in one mod chat, y'all were in another. You know,
Right, like a life, exactly, like a life chat, you know?
yeah.
And I
So,
wasn't like, "Oh, can you believe that Captain and Zig?" It wasn't like that at all. It was, "Guys, bills are due. Gotta see if I can drum up,
rile up
a
the
hundred
kid.
bucks.
Yeah,
Make sure
gotta make
you
it.
drop that PayPal." I have
Drop
no
it.
problem with that. I mean, if she's a YouTuber and it's a show, I have no problem with that. Make a quirky little comment, paste the PayPal. I have no problem with that. My issue would have been if I had known that I was, raising for a false cause. And
Exactly.
that's not, I
It's the
never did
lie.
that in knowingly.
It's the lies, and then you're
Yes.
part of it, and then you feel like shit. I mean, really, and it's not your burden to bear, but you were part of it. I mean, I know that's how I felt too. Like, damn, I can't even,
Yeah.
look what I've done. I've supported this, but I didn't see a lot of it. But yeah, I kind of did, but I really just was overlooking. I'm in the moment, and then
Yeah.
I'm trying to make, this okay, that okay. I mean, I'm riding hard. I'm in the trenches. I'm doing this. I'm doing that, and then, poof, in 1 millisecond, it's thrown up. Bah, get
Yeah.
out. You know. So no, I won't ride like that for anybody. I don't have to. I'm
No.
perfectly happy doing what I'm doing. I have, what I have, and I have a life. What does
Okay.
you think about Katie lying and claiming her dad has bone cancer? I don't know that that's why
Man,
I think that it's probably an infection,
Mm,
but I don't know.
so I'm not gonna say that she's lying about that because
Me
honestly, it's
yeah.
too recent. And um,
True.
man,
Well, I don't know if you
I'm
saw
just
her
going to say
stream
50
today.
50. I don't know. I'm just going
I
to say
don't
50
know.
50 because I know that Desiree has some thoughts on that. And because Katie told her that she talked to her father that morning and he was very upset that that was said and was saying that that wasn't true. And Katie was very upset and Desiree was upset. Like, why would somebody tell her that, or why would somebody post that about her? Because obviously that would really, really hurt Katie. And then I guess there was some stream where they said it might be an infection. So I don't know if somebody just jumped the gun and like assumed something.
Yeah.
What I can't explain is why she called Desiree and said that she talked to her father and he said he didn't have it. And then she talked to him on a stream and it was clearly the first time that they had spoken.
Hmm.
That's what I don't understand. I'm not saying that she's lying about it because I don't know. I don't think one way or the other. I really don't.
Then there was something else that I saw on a stream a couple hours ago. Lana was there talking with her, and I guess because remember in the beginning she had said she saw it, she found it at 2 in the morning. Well, I guess she was cruising Facebook and saw Lana's Facebook, and Lana said, "My husband has cancer." That's what I understood from it. I might
Right.
be wrong. That's kind of what I understood from it.
Right. That's how
And
she
Lana was right there
originally
with her.
announced it.
So,
Yeah, I'm not going to get into their family
I'm not
dynamic.
even.
Yeah.
right.
But yeah, I'll just say
I
that
hope
I
that.
can't answer. I'm a 50-50 on it. I would not say absolutely and I would not say absolutely not.
Mm-mm. Me either.
Their personal family dynamic is no one's business.
No. But I certainly hope it's not cancer. I mean,
Oh, I certainly hope
that
so
is my
too.
hope. You know.
Absolutely.
Hey,
I
Ken.
hope Daddy Wonderful lives a very long time.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Amber Kay. Amber Kay says if you can't keep anyone around, you are the common denominator.
Oh, Amber
Yeah.
Kay's a whore. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, she's got my name.
No, she's constantly spamming penis. And all she thinks about is fucking penis.
She's
I just
constantly
love
asking
messing
me
with
for
her
money.
because she's embarrassed that she loves me so much. So I just like messing with her.
She has my nudes.
Oh my gosh. You guys are too much. I
And she
swear to
ignores
God.
me like Captain does in the chat.
Oh my God, here we go. Jesus Christ.
I don't know.
Jesucristo.
My eyes are glued on the chat. I mean, I guess that's just from the mod in me, you know.
I just
Yes.
opened it. If anyone's got any questions,
I'm
I
like the
guess I just.
shittiest mod ever. Like literally, I'm the shittiest mod ever.
Well, people call me
I pay
Ridgy.
attention.
Man, when I'm hitting my vape pen, you got to put Ridgemont High. You got to highlight that, or I'm not going to see it.
Yeah, the
You
line.
know, I want to tell you something, Ridgemont. Before you cammed up and I saw you and I learned about your age and we became closer and stuff, when I first came to this community, I'd heard you, okay, you got on panel, but you didn't cam up, so I'd heard your voice. I pictured you because I knew that you were going into early retirement. And that was one of the first things like I learned about you when we were making friends. And I pictured you, and I even
Right.
after hearing your voice, as an older lady. Like because you're really fucking mature, dude. Like I'm not. And then I find out you're a couple years younger than me, and I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, Catherine, you gotta grow the fuck up. Like I thought you were like
I'm an
close
old
to
soul.
60, you know, and you had your shit together. You're going through retirement. I even pictured you having brown short hair, and then I saw you. I was like, what? She's this hottie blonde who's younger than me. Jesus H.
That
Christ!
is so
like,
funny. You know,
not have seen it at all.
The first time I ever got on camera and Katie saw me, and she was like, "Oh fuck, you're perfect." And I was like, "Shut up, no, I'm not."
Exactly.
But before that, she was like, "Can you tell me what you look like? Because I have you pictured as an old lady." And I went on to like uglypeople.com or something, and I sent her. I found this like a nude of an old woman on a swing that was like all sprawled out, and that's what I sent to her. And so she was like, "Oh fuck, who is this girl?" So it was this.
Oh, you know what? She posted that in the mod chat. I remember that, like reminiscing on your meeting. Oh my God, I remember that.
Yeah,
that
so
was
when
an awful
first saw
fucking
me
picture,
on
dude.
camera, she was like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Dude, listen. I'm bigger than I've ever been in my whole life, and I'm not going to go on about woe is me." Okay, but when I tell you, I mean, certainly people who have been through sexual trauma or just the kind of experiences that I've had. Okay. I've had a lot of people in my life comment on my appearance, and it makes me so uncomfortable. It did more in my younger days.
Sorry.
No, listen, I'm okay. Thank you. In my younger days, especially before I had a lot of therapy, it made me feel like, oh, that's how you see me. And that's probably why I was so gung-ho in my career, because I was like, no, you're going to see my brains. No, you're going to see how I make this project my bitch. You know?
I so get it, Ridgy. Man, I'm the same way. Even to this day, I have a problem with compliments. I do.
Yes, I didn't let
them
I
don't mean it when I say things like, "Oh no," I mean, that truly is weird for me. Don't touch my hair.
Right.
I have issues, but I'm better because I did go through therapy, and I am a survivor, and I'm a strong woman. Right. But there were things that trigger me. I hate to use trigger, that bring back bad memory, bad trauma to me.
Right.
But
that's really where it comes from for me. So when I started being on YouTube, that is a picture, that is a view from a cabin that we love to go to. It's not somebody else's picture. I'm not pretending to be a tree, but I kind of feel like, what does it matter what you look like? I don't care what other people look like. And I don't want people to judge me from what I look like. So that's just where it comes from.
How sad that the human mind, though, like I wasn't the only one. Katie did too.
Yeah, she thought I was an old lady.
You were like a strong ass career woman and very mature and poised. We both pictured you as an old lady.
Yep, I'm an old lady.
I pictured you as a very attractive brunette, though. I did. Yeah, a very attractive brunette old lady in a suit. I pictured that.
Thank you.
And then I was like, wow, she's blonde. That was the most shocking thing. I'm like, I don't know why, but my human mind, because you were mature and successful and driven, you were old.
Thank you. Thank you. No, I just had something to prove in the world and I
Exactly.
tired myself
Yeah.
out. Violet Allen has a question that she highlighted my name on. It says, please confirm the Rodney stream was either real or fake. 100% that was real. That was the last 24-hour stream for the mother of a murder victim. That was 100% real. The amount that came in was 100% given to that mother. And people know that, I know that to be true, especially for even for the other fundraisers, because I've known those people personally and I've known what was raised and what was given. So yeah, don't worry about that. I know that people still say, even though she called PayPal and she had them read out the amounts that were transferred and that, that she received and that she transferred out, that's still not good enough for some people. I don't know why, but 100% real.
Yeah, and they were saying it was Tyler. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh,
Have you ever heard?" Didn't even sound like Tyler at all, dude.
No,
So stupid.
that's so
dude.
ridiculous.
Just because you
It's so
don't like
silly.
somebody doesn't make everything bad about them true. Do your research.
Right.
Calm down.
Right. And speaking of Ty, he is another wonderful soul.
I love that kid.
Here's another highlighted name. Michaela
I'm just gonna have
Reviews.
to tell you, Tyler hasn't spoken to me since the shit went down.
Oh, really?
No, he has not. So that's another one that I thought would never turn their back on me, but did.
I wonder if maybe if Tyler, if you're watching this by any chance, I wonder if maybe you guys can communicate offline.
No, I mean I'm over that hurt, but I'm just saying what hurt me was whenever, who was it, Captain, went after Tyler. Remember? And I did
that
reach out to him.
Controlla homophobic rant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I told him how sorry I was that happened to him. But after that there has been nothing. No contact. Even in a chat, Tyler will not speak to me. He has not spoken to me at all.
Well,
Which
I will
hurt me at first, I'm going to be honest, but I'm over it. It did. There's several that I still feel that way. I mean,
I don't want to speak for Ty, so I won't. I will only say again that I don't know how his dynamic with Katie was. Only speaking for my dynamic, I have again learned things, a lot of things that she told me about people were absolutely not the case, and just for silly things. And I wonder if maybe she did that. I don't know.
I'm just, but I'm just telling you. Yeah, we all know who she's talked about, former mods, right? I would never tell those people because it's hurtful, right. And I don't see them as that. So no, I would not do that. Things that are told in that situation should never come to light. It's just, you don't do that.
I feel very protective of Ty because he's also young. He's young.
He's like 25, right?
He's in his 20s. I won't age him. I mean,
right.
And I'm not saying it's an excuse at all. I don't know. I'm not speaking for, but he's young and doesn't have as much world experience. And for all I know, maybe she communicated something to him that made him feel a way that she either didn't communicate to me or knew that even if she did, I wouldn't take any stock in that because that's not the kind of person I am. I don't know. And that doesn't mean that I'm saying that by any means that he's weak, but I do feel, I mean, he's jokingly called me mom, because
we had a lot of fun times together.
Yes. He's a wonderful person.
And then
wonderful person.
Just nothing.
I'm sorry for that.
I will say this, Sandy Law has always talked to me and Kit Kat and I'm sure Captain.
Wonderful.
She's never back, not one bit. Not one bit.
Good.
And I think the world of her. She has the most giving heart.
Mm-hmm.
She's so talented with what she does.
Yes.
She is so talented because the doll that she did for Kit Kat, Scarlett.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, she's so good. I mean, she is very, very giving. She
Yes.
has that in her, and I what Kit Kat said, yeah, I was told I was trouble ma, that tons of people complained about me, and all I did was protect our group. You're right. We did that, and we had to be mean. I mean, y'all don't know, when we were in the trenches, we had to be mean. I mean, I regret it. Believe me, I regret a lot of stuff I said, but we had to be, because people came at us, and they were
Right.
coming for Katie. Damn, Katie didn't see all of that because we kept it from her. We
Right.
protected her. And
So I
it's
remember
stupid.
hearing that, but I never saw it. No one ever complained about either of y'all to me. So I don't know if how much of it was true.
I don't think it either. I think it was a lie because she wanted us gone. And I know I have my opinion on why. And the fact that she never reached out and tried to make amends with either Kit Kat or myself, that's just, and the one that's in her chat now, that was the big issue. Well, she can have her and ram her up her butt. I don't care. When that comes back to bite her, it will. I'm just saying, what she lost in me and Kit Kat, she can't replace. She cannot replace it. I'm going to tell you that, and I'll stand firm on that. And I mean it, because not many people would have took the hits that we did. And we've worked hard to repair our reputations. We have. We've worked hard to make amends because we were so bad. We really were. I love you, Sandy. And it was our own foolishness for doing it, but we did it.
Right.
I mean,
obviously, I wouldn't have taken it. I understand.
Yeah.
Y'all did take a lot.
Well, see, that's what we were. We were like attack dogs. I mean, really, that's what we were. That was our little thing there. Katie doesn't have that cover anymore. She doesn't have somebody that fetches all the information for her that she needs for drama. That's the stuff that we did. We knew. Tyler's one person. He can't do everything.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I'm just saying, and I'm not dishing on Tyler at all.
No, I understand. And I've been honest with Tyler about the things that I've learned.
Yeah, I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm just telling you the dynamic. That was.
I want to say something though regarding the whole Tyler thing. It's something I noticed about his personality, that anytime, and this is before we all left, like before any serious drama in the circle happened and stuff, that if there was any little bickering between us in the mod chat, he would close off.
Yes.
And he would withdraw. And I think that could be, like, when I left, and a lot of people, like a lot of our circle came to my DMs and said, "Hey, Captain, I'm still your friend." He didn't, and it didn't offend me because I remember him closing off. So I addressed him and I was like, "Hey, you know what? I'm here for you anytime. And just go on my own way." Just kind of left it at that. You know what I mean? Like, because I remember him, like, he left the mod chat a couple times and he was just like, "You know what? I can't do this. And I don't like to argue. I want us to be friends."
Right.
He didn't like that.
Well, I did reach out and did tell him that, Captain, and that, that I was sorry that he was done that way. But after
and I'm not trying to make excuses. I just feel like he likes you guys. I feel like he loves you. That's how I feel. I can't speak for him, but I feel like he loves you.
No, there's no going back, Cash. Never. No. And trust me, Katie does not miss us. No. Katie never.
Again, she has said that she missed you along the way. If that were true, her ego would have gotten in the way to not be the one to reach out. If it wasn't true, then it was a lie. I don't know what to say about it.
I know.
And I won't tell Tyler's story, but he has just recently put on Twitter, that it's crazy to him that a decade ago he had to be a closeted gay man, and now and he's got a very hard, growing up a gay man in rural America. And, he has had his own traumas, and
Sure he
he
has.
is finding his voice and growing up and being able to be okay with himself. And he's just such a beautiful person. So, I've got nothing bad to say about him, but I
Well, we had
totally hear what
fun.
you're saying.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? We had fun. Well, I'm
Definitely.
sure Tyler's was always busy with work. I mean, I don't know how he
Yes.
got any rest.
He works like 60 hours a week. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like he's been used. Yes.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. No doubt. I mean,
And that's kind of why I'm like kind of saying these things. I'm not trying to speak for him, but yeah, like I kind of feel like, yeah, he's been used, and maybe the whole stressing on the loyalty really, like he doesn't want to seem like he's unloyal and that they're best friends, and you know what I mean? And he's not trying to hurt anybody else, and that's why he withdraws.
y'all in the chat, I'm not hating on Tyler. Y'all please don't.
No, I don't take it that way at all. I understand that you
No,
were
not at all.
hurt
No.
because he didn't reach out, and I hear that.
A lot of people didn't know Reggie, and that's fine. That's fine. I think back, did I reach out to some people that left? But they didn't get cut out like we did. You know what I'm saying? They just
Right.
left.
Yeah, yours was definitely
I
yours.
didn't,
I see somebody saying, Muffy Cat says, do you think Katie needs an intervention for drugs and alcohol? I know she's talked about having addiction issues in the past. Perhaps use every night at the bar isn't good. She's not at the bar every night. She's not drinking every day. I do feel like she needs help with maybe addiction issues, but it's like a food and I don't even know. Does narcissism, is that like an addiction thing? She's got this cycle obsession. It's more obsession than addiction.
I don't know.
I've never known her I never saw her do any drugs except for pot. And that is just God's honest truth.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean she can't. I've never seen it. That's just all I know.
Yeah. So some things you don't know. I mean, you just don't. There are things that I've never seen her do anything like that. These are questions that we don't know.